Hello and welcome to another episode of A Professional Gold Dealer Gives Advice. In today's episode, I'm going to be talking about how the market works. You may be thinking, yeah, but you've already explained what types of coins to buy, and also you've kind of gone through how spot works and is it important. This video is probably more important than the last video because it's going to help you kind of make better returns on your coins when you buy. And it's something that the savvier buyers pick up on, and the people who come in and just buy here and there, they don't really pick up on. Before I get into it, I am actually a coin dealer. It's just saying I'm a professional gold dealer probably gets more clicks. It is what it is. Um, that's that out of the way. I've also not got any new stock, so I thought I'd just put some time into explaining how the market works uh, for me and also as a whole. So when I spoke about yesterday's video, I was explaining the spot price, why it's not so important, and it goes up and down. In today's video, I want to talk about buyers markets, buyers markets and sellers markets. I think this is fundamentally more important than understanding the spot price, to be honest. So let's get into it. What you're going to notice is that spot price goes up and down. But when it's a seller's market, the premiums are going to be higher. And what happens is it's not even a greed thing. You're going to notice most of the main players, they're going to put the premium up. And some people have said to me in the past, "Oh, you're just gouging, you don't need to sell for that." And my response was always this. It's I'm not gouging. You need to consider the replacement cost for dealers. Now, if there's a shortage of silver on the main market, there's going to be lead times. They've got to worry about fulfilling orders. It's going to take time. It's going to cost them more money if they want their order bumped because they're going to have to bid the price up. And it's the same in the secondary market. So when everyone wants coin, whether that's gold or silver, the people who get it in from the secondary market, there's not going to be enough to go around because people tend to be buyers and not sellers. So my suppliers will say to me, actually, I've got someone else who will pay me more. Are you going to match it? Are you going to pay me a bit extra? Now that's nothing to do with loyalty. That's fair enough. We've all got to make a cut, but it means that my price is a bit up. So the goalposts have moved when it is a seller's market, and it isn't a case of I'm trying to extract as much profit as possible. Profit it evens out over time, even with spot. So when spot goes up, I make a bit more, and when spot goes down, I make a bit less. And it's the same with the buyer and seller market. Now, what happens is when it's a buyer's market, there's probably too much stock going around. There's too many people that have stock, and the price gets bid down. It is what it is. For someone like me I'm a stacker, I build up my reserve. The reason I do that is because I can't guarantee when coin is going to come in. I don't work in the primary market. I'm not buying from the Royal Mint or the US Mint. I think it's the US Mint. I'm not buying from source. I have to wait until the coin comes into me. So I end up building reserves. What I will do is I will sell, and when it is a seller's market, I pitch my price here, and that's okay. And when it is a buyer's market, the price that I've pitched it will come down and it will just drop and drop and drop. Now, there's going to be times of equilibrium where supply and demand is pretty much the same. That's okay. I actually prefer those times. I'm going to meet these people in the middle. You got the buyer's market, you got the seller's market. I'm going to meet them in the middle, and that's where I want to be as a dealer. I want to be there because it's consistent cash flow, it's consistent profit for me. When it is a seller's market, I'm thinking, oh, I've got a lot of stuff. I've got to rebalance the books, which is okay because there's more stock on the market. I just have to wait for it to come. It's more of an annoyance. It's tedious. However, it's less tedious than when it is a buyer's market for me because I'm thinking the prices are high, regardless of where the spot price is. The premiums are higher, and I've got to worry about competing for stock with other people. I don't like being there. I really don't, because I could literally run through my entire reserve. I've done it. I've done it before where I'll run through my reserve and I'm thinking, where's it going to come from? I don't know where it's going to come from. And this will kind of happen across all three of the coin types that I mentioned in video one. So I mentioned bullion coins, I mentioned semi-numismatic coins, and I mentioned your numismatic coins. If it is a buyer's market, people will have everything. It, it doesn't matter. The prices are going to get bid up. The last time I saw that was just after the crash, the pandemic, sorry, the stock market crash, and everyone flocks to this. And I'm thinking, I actually deployed the trick where I essentially parked my oil tankers 100 kilometers away from the delivery station, because I'm thinking, if I go for it now, I'm not sure it's going to be there. I was lucky. I had a part-time job. I was working nights, and I'm thinking, I'm actually worried, because if I sell through everything in the buyer's market, I'm not sure I'm going to be able to replenish my stock. So I let everyone else sell the market, and I worked out where the equilibrium price was, and then I sold my stock. By then, I'd managed to pick some more stock up. That wasn't me being greedy. That was me being scared of where the market was going, because you don't know when it's going to flip again, and you don't know if the stock is going to come in. And that's a constant fear of a dealer who works in the secondary market. Now, I want it to be in the middle. Like, seller's market's okay. Like I said, it's annoying because I hold reserves, but it's okay because I know it's going to come in. But when it's a buyer's market, once the reserves are being depleted, it's a waiting game, and you're sitting on your thumbs and you're thinking, where's it going to come from? Because if someone comes to me and they say, oh, I want to sell you this, and at the moment I pay £3 over a coin, that does change. That does change in time. And someone says, well, actually, this guy's going to pay me 25. If another dealer's going to pay you 25, they're not going to sell to me. I've got to buy in at 25. There's no loyalty to me for someone selling to me, and that's okay. That's not a problem. And then I've got to make my cut. So if I'm having to buy at 25, I'm having to sell at 30, and by the time I've taken my time out of it, and then my soon to be VAT expenses, it gets whittled down and whittled down. Now, you may be asking, well, what's the relevance to myself in a buyer's market or a seller's market? That's very simple. So when you're in a buyer's market, you're going to have to pay the price. Now, if you're stacking, that doesn't really matter. Like I said yesterday, you're going to be building up a position over time. You're going to pay slightly high on some occasions, and when it comes to be a seller's market, you're going to be fine. It's going to even out, and you'd like to think over time, historically this has been proven, and this is due to the inset inflation that world governments want. Over time, you're going to be fine. You're going to buy on some peaks, you're going to buy on some troughs, and you're going to have an average, and it should look after you. When you're in a seller's market, this is where you as an individual, you want to be picking up stock. Now, what will happen is, in a buyer's market, I will list something and it will go. No one haggles. Not really, anyway. I might get some private messages saying, these are from long-term customers, so I don't mind dealing with it. And they'd be like, well, if I buy X amount, can I have this off? And it depends you're standing with me. Loyalty is a two-way thing. If you've been buying off me for years, I'm going to give you a discount. That's not a problem. It really isn't. You support me as an independent, and I support you in your goals, whether that be stacking or collecting or whatever. I don't have a problem with it. But the reality is, in a buyer's market where I've got loads of people who want stock and I've got a very limited amount, it usually goes. You can't really haggle in a peer-to-peer market. It's either yes, no. That tends to be how it works. Now, in a seller's market, I'm going to list something and it's going to drop. I tend to set a baseline for myself. I say below a certain point, I'm going to keep it. I'm not wet behind the ears. I've been around the block a few times and I know how the market works. I've got enough money to ride it out to better times for me. It's not going to last longer than a few months. it may be a rough few months. And there tends to be a few months in a year anyway. I've said it before, there's going to be 2 months in a year where you're going to struggle. That tends to be February and July. February because it's just after Christmas and people want to pay their credit cards back. I used to think it would be January. It's not. Historically, it's February. And it tends to be July and maybe part of August because people want to go on holiday. So there's more people wanting to sell because they want to fund other things, which is, it's fair enough. But you as an individual in a seller's market, you're going to have more scope to pick up bargains. You're going to look at some things and you're going to say, well, actually, the market's weak. I want to pay this. I won't necessarily cave. However, other people will. So if I put up a coin, say for example, I put up, let's see what I got on my desk. A round. So I got a silver round. This is an OPM round. There's nothing really special about it, even though the company went out of business due to doing some very, very dodgy things. If I put it up at, say, £28, and you see that lots of people putting coins up for around the same mark, and not a lot of it is selling, you should be thinking as an individual, I'll make an offer of 26. That sounds fair. You know, there may be a distressed seller. You know, you don't want to take advantage of people. You're not going to offer 20 quid, you know, but make an offer like a few quid under. Now, personally, I wouldn't go for it. However, there's going to be other sellers who, you don't know what people paid, firstly, but there's going to be other sellers, they're either distressed or they might have bought that when it was £20 an ounce. For them to lose 2 quid on it, it's okay. You know, most people are not doing it for a living. You know, they don't have the costs that I do, but most people are like, it's £2. It's okay. When it is a seller's market, it's easier to buy stock at a discount to what the overall level should be. And that's very important. Now, what I notice is there's a lot of customers who they will buy in the buyer's market, and they're just going to be like, I paid a bit more than I wanted to. I've got my stock. They're going to do one or two things. They're going to get out of the market and get burnt. This happens in any asset class. This happens. You always get the people on the fringe who buy in because they've heard it from social media or whatnot. It's become the new hot thing and they're chasing profits. They think it's going to go to the moon. It doesn't. It never will. I'm not having a dig at these people, you know, but some people need their expectations reined in. And it doesn't help when it's across the newspaper or social media or whatever, when it's really being pushed. These people are either going to get out of the market or they're going to get savvier and they're going to start looking for the deals. And that's okay. I've seen this with many, many people. There's many people that I sold to originally. They no longer buy from me. They're like, it's too expensive for me. They've clocked on to the fact that there's going to be people who don't mind coming down in price. You know, and that's okay. You know, good luck to them. It's not for me that I need to make a certain amount. There's sometimes I just out of sheer stubbornness, I'm not going to sell below a certain point. You know, I don't need the cash. Now, I hope you've got something out of this video. You know, spot price and buyers and sellers markets kind of go hand in hand. There's going to be times where the spot price drops and people will message me saying, I know you're in weakness and I have to hold the price because until I rebuy, it's just not going to happen. You know, I'm not taking a loss on these things. I can't afford to. You know, I've got bills to pay. But yeah, I hope this video has helped. If anyone has any questions, you're more than welcome to send me a message or leave me a comment. And I will see you on the next one. It'll probably be a video about getting some stock in. I'm not going to put out an educational video every day. It's not for everyone. That's okay. So take care, guys. Bye.